Hey Starcrafters, it's Wookie. Thanks for tuning in. It has been a while. Gosh, I feel like we haven't talked in so long. Here is me playing the Zerg. It's Season 3. You guys said, Wookie, you gotta play Zerg. So I did. And it turns out I wasn't very good at it. But I got back on the ladder here recently, and this game kinda sums up the best of what I could put together as a Zerg player lately. So we see me spawning here in the top right on Shakuras Plateau, and I have the map set. If you look at the little mini map down here, you can't see my opponent. I have the map set to my vision only, so that we can look at the game from my perspective and try to put the game in context as far as trying to help me get better at Zerg. So if we're watching numbers here, I went 15 pool, I think, and then 15, what do they call these? Extractor, and then a 15 hatchery right there. And we can see what my opponent is doing via the production tab. So we can kind of get a sense of what he's doing, but we'll be able to see what I know. You'll notice he opened Forge first, then Gateway, then Cannon, and I snuck that drone in just as that cannon was finishing. The cannon got a couple whacks at him, and then I got down here, turned around, and got killed. So a little better control on the drone. I would have seen the cannon and grabbed that drone and tried to keep it low to keep it away from that cannon. But so an interesting opening from my opponent, who I should probably introduce, by the way. My apologies, Mr. TropicThunda. He is a Protoss player and is down here in the bottom left, as I have just now discovered. So, actually seeing the Forge first prompted me to start running around looking for proxies, because Forge first usually means trickery. But what I found out after the game, because I discover here through my investigations that he's not up to anything tricksy, he's just opening Forge first. But he's a predominantly multiplayer player. So most of his games are in the 3s and 4s. And that mindset tends to be a little different than 1-to-1. It's completely normal, I guess, because I don't multiplayer a lot, but I guess it's much more typical to open Forge first as a multiplayer ladder person. So my Overlord here is squeezing in this way. You can see I pulled this one out. I saw the Cybernetics core finish, so I decided to get him out of here. This was a cannon. I remember seeing that warping in as a cannon, so I wanted to get out of here. And look at this, kids. 8 minutes and 29 seconds. I'm already halfway through my third. So I was pretty quick on the minerals. I like droning up to 15. We can see I'm on at least a couple, three, but that's unsaturated. Still some macro issues here, but got a decent number of drones, 29 to 26, and I think I get at least one more round, just really good round. Now, I had both towers, so I see all this coming. This is his push, and I made a lot of Zerglings. I had a lot of money, and so I saw this coming and slammed the Z button. I also had a lot of larvae floating around. I put down 3 spines right away, which was a total waste, and we'll see why in a second here. A little poor control. The most recent batch of Zerglings did not get added to my control group, but I'm losing this really badly. But hey, he's not up here killing everything I own, right? So I'm feeling okay about that. The supply, I had enough overlords to handle that, and at this point I'm like, well, let's try to get him back to my spine crawlers, and he falls for it a little bit, and I know I have enough Zerglings here to hold that off, so that was good. Yay! I figured out how to not absolutely die to that push right away, and of course right away I counter push, and I get in here just as his expansion is coming in. Get a couple of sentry kills. I get up here, do some scouting. I see a few gateways, but I didn't see a robotics. I probably could have tried to get around, you know, to the darker corners of the base and get some more scouting done, but I was moving quickly, and I had everything rallied at that point out here. I remember rallying all my hatches out to the middle because I was going to make the win push. I'm like, this is it, I'm going to win. And it so didn't happen. I think this little guy gets away from me. I have not watched this replay. I've only just recently played the game. Yeah. So there's a sacrificial roach that didn't get corralled. But now I've switched into roach tech, trying to get some creep spread going. Just now starting to pay attention to drones here. I think I do transfer some reasonably soon. Looks like I'm... There we go. Okay, the transfer was down there. Got a couple extra queens coming out. You just heard mutalisks. I made an extra queen at each of my hatcheries. A couple of spore colonies there for some detection and air defense in case the void rays come. Didn't scout it. I mean, you can see I didn't scout the new tech, but I have to suspect something is coming. I mean, I do. I say I have to. I do suspect a tech switch is coming. It's either going to be Colossus or void rays, most likely. So I put these here. I mean, there's observers, but and DT. So I mean, nothing prompted me. I didn't see anything that made me make those. I just made them because I figured it was probably better safe than sorry. So in retrospect, it was not an informed decision. Oh, look at that. I can see that observer right there. Oh, duh. I was going to turn my graphics up before I started this cast, and I totally didn't. Just lost an overlord there, and we can see I am going mutas, which I don't particularly think is awesome versus Protoss, but I knew I wanted to start managing these potential expansion spots here. So I figured the mutas combined with the zerglings would let me get in and out of those pretty quick. So I think we'll see me real soon here. There we go. Go check that expansion right when he's pushing. So half of my units peel off to attack. And mutas against Blinkstalkers. And the other half just run up here and hang out to confirm that there's no expansion. So fortunately for me, I get on the rally with some units out here. I made a go at a counter push. Probably wasn't the most intelligent thing I could do or the best decision, but here very poor control on my part. Just stuff rallied in. That was complete auto attacking. I don't think I even paid attention to that battle at the time. Half of my army is up here, so I mean there was half of my army wasn't even down here with this stuff, and I absolutely did not control, and I still won, so that was good. Hydras here managed to hold the line for me. I appreciate that. Thank you, Hydras, because I, again, was not paying a whole lot of attention. And I believe at this point I finally get it together a little bit and consolidate my army right here. And you can also see that I'm getting tons of money. I'm way ahead in the food. Let's check the 45 to 45. So I'm not even crushing. I'm not even slightly ahead in worker production because we're even. I'm just spread out over many more bases, so my income rate might be a little higher. Nope, it's actually lower. How about that? So there's an important lesson. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to translate into getting better, but it seems like over 4 bases. Sorry, I'm trying to do math in my head, but it seems like over 4 bases I should have a higher income than him if he's on 2. But so the Colossus keep coming, and I had to bring everything back here. Managed to clean that up. I remember a fungal goes down. Yep. So I actually was paying attention to that battle, and I see this, but decide that I'm going to ignore it and push the ramp. And I know he's got a few cannons up here, but I think I can crack through them. So I make that a point, and I'm working on that presently. As you can see in production, I'm upgrading and getting my greater spire, because I know it occurred to me while I was doing this, I'm like, he is cranking out the Colossus, and I'm not doing anything about it. And then right here I'm like, oh god, DTs. So now if you'll check the production, you're going to see 3 overseers. and I believe I made them right up here. Yeah, I grabbed these and I put one on patrol through here. Got some corruptors in play, so I'm looking to go broodlords at this point. And yeah, there's the DTs coming in, and fortunately for me I got that overseer right there, and I get just enough roaches up here to keep those from running amok, because there is nothing worse than 4 DTs, but there's one in each corner of the map, and you gotta spread your detection around and chase them down. Oh man, so annoying. And believe me, I know, because I love DTs, but I hate them when they're not my DTs. And so here come Zerglings to dump money. And my issues at this point, I was feeling pretty good at this point in the game. Like, okay, I think I'm ahead. I think I'm ahead. And it turns out, you know, I am, if we're looking at the food here. And I've been keeping up on my upgrades. I mean, well, okay, when I say keeping up, I mean for me. It's all relative. But, you know, I got my double Evo chambers down. I didn't get them too early, I don't think. Like I have in the past. Maybe even a touch late. But one issue I see right away, and a full queen, or full energy queen, lots of larvae. Full energy queen, plenty of larvae laying around. Let me guess. So there's some things I can work on right away. Spore and a spine at every hatchery now because of those DTs, and I'm really just massing up my army in the middle and making broodlords. So I'm sinking all my gas into broodlords and, well, corruptors and broodlords, and making as many zerglings as I can, trying to keep my larva injects up. Look at me making drones. All right, that's good to see. And then here at the what are we at? Almost 28 minutes. I finally get some broodlords into play, and they help me out there. Creep spread is a little lacking. I had a forward line of creep tumors, and he got killed off the front wave, the active ones, and I kind of let it die from there. I didn't really track these down and keep them going. So that's another thing I can work on. One thing I do notice is that my vision is pretty poor. I've got the tower good. I've got an overlord here okay, one there okay. But I really need something here, making sure he's not taking this. I really need to be able to see this. I can kind of see it. If there was a simulator there, I would know. But knowing this has been here and that I've let it exist for a while, I make it a point to come in here. Of course, I just A-clicked and went on to like inject larvae or whatever, so my broodlords showed up to the party really late. Well, and by the time they get there, most of my stuff is dead. But hey, I did manage to do a little bit of control, keep the corruptors from getting killed by the cannons or whatever. And then we just let the broodlords work this over. We can also see a big slowdown in my production tab as I am, it looks like, paying a significant amount of attention to this. So there's a whoopsie. Look at that. I'm not doing anything. Wow. That's kind of embarrassing. Here we go. 6 corruptors. I mean, it's not like I was supply capped, I don't think. I didn't happen to glance over there. But anyway, here's my Zerglings finally spotting that, making sure he doesn't have one there. And then I get a poke at his defenses, and I'm like, okay, gonna require broodlords, so we bring those up. And the fact that I have seen, I did a check at all the mineral locations, and I didn't see any expansions. I know he's on 2 bases. I'm feeling pretty good at this point. I'm like, okay, all I want to do is a round of production and go kill him, and it should work. And so we should see that commence here pretty quick. Why did that Colossus not die faster? Wow. He must have had wizard DTs in there. There probably was. I made sure to bring my overlord, or overseer rather, with me, just for that very purpose. And then this was just a push forward to go kill him. I knew he couldn't have a whole lot, and I'll bring up the every cam, and you can see he is super saturated here, picking at the scraps, and he's completely busted out there. And I got this. So, and I'm telling you, it was a 31 and a half, almost 32-minute game, and I was so intense this whole game. It is the single most intense game I have ever played as a Zerg. So good job, TropicThunda, for making me play frantically. But I felt like I was playing super fast at the top of my game. Of course, watching the replay, there's a lot of room for improvement there, and apparently averaging 37 APM is me playing super fast. But it just seemed like I always had something to do. I was always pressuring myself to keep going, to keep clicking, keep moving. It just seemed like I was really high strung for this game. But thank you, TropicThunda, for a really good game. Viewers, if you would please, especially if you play Zerg, let me know in the comments anything you saw that I didn't touch on that I should look at, should work on, that kind of thing. Also, any suggestions for content would be appreciated. And if you want to send me your replay, I do occasionally cast viewer submissions, and those go to wookiestarcraft@gmail.com. So thanks a lot for watching. I know this was a little bit of a long one, and if you stuck it out, you rock. Thumb it up, and let your friends know that you watched it. And I will be back with something else soon. Good luck. Have fun on your ladder games, everybody. Wookie out. I know I said I was out, but a quick follow-up to this. I looked up TropicThunda after this game, and he was not only slightly favored, he was actually favored in this matchup. Probably because I've been inactive more so than the discrepancy in our ladder standings or whatever, but it was worth 44 points. So, sweet.